Welcome to BBC London with me, Assad Ahmed. Coming up on the programme, passengers are warned of travel chaos next week with 5 days of tube strikes, its overpay and demands for a shorter working week.
I heard of the strike, but I don't know what people are going to do.
It's going to affect everybody as well, so I feel like they should just compromise.
How difficult can their jobs be that they need a 32-hour week?
Well, I'll speak to the RMT union shortly about the disruption they're causing for millions of people. Also tonight, trying to build up its finances, we report from a London council that's gone bankrupt 3 times.
The Women's Super League season kicks off here in the capital tonight, and we'll have the latest on the stadium row hindering one of our top flight clubs.
And taking centre stage in the capital, the artist with more followers on Spotify than Taylor Swift. It's the fella with not the ginger hair. Good evening. If it's not really possible to predict the future, but one thing we can say with confidence is that millions of journeys will need to be rerouted or cancelled as a result of a tube strike starting on Sunday. Members of the RMT union will walk out for 5 days, and separately, the Docklands Light Railway will also shut down for 2 days. To tell us what it's all about and what we can expect to happen, here's our transport correspondent, Tom Edwards.
This is what commuters can expect next week, disruption from Sunday to Friday morning. This dispute is about pay, but crucially a demand for a 32-hour week. Commuters in Vauxhall are preparing for a tough few days.
Getting to my work will be like impossible. So I'm not sure. I heard of the strike, but I don't know what people are going to do.
If they could just leave the strike, it is going to affect me and it's going to affect everybody as well. So I feel like they should just compromise.
They want a 32-hour week.
That would be nice.
What do you make of that?
I think it's a bit ridiculous, really. How difficult can their jobs be that they need a 32-hour week when the rest of us have to work 37 and a half, 40, even more?
At this floating venue, the Thamesis Dock, they have bookings every day next week.
For hospitality, it's going to impact us a massive way. September, all the kids are now going back to school. All the companies are starting to have their end of summer parties. We're booked every day next week, and so for us, we're kind of just hoping that all those events go through. But from past history, we know many cancel, so we are genuinely concerned.
There will be little or no tube from Sunday through to Friday morning as tube workers walk out. There will also be no service on the DLR on Tuesday and Thursday. TfL offered staff a 3.4% pay rise. Last year, the Mayor intervened with £30 million in extra funding. So far, though, there's been nothing from City Hall, and talks didn't get far.
We've made it very clear that we cannot reduce contractual hours. A 32-hour week is absolutely unaffordable, but even a small drop in contractual hours would bring huge cost to TfL. And it's very, very important that we're able to invest our operational budgets in improving services to London. We've made a fair and affordable offer to the RMT, and we'd urge them to put it to their members so they can have a say.
A week of disruption for the capital and an abrupt end to summer. Tom Edwards, BBC London.
OK, joining me now is Gerard Wood from the RMT union. Thank you for coming in and speaking to us this evening. Now, millions of journeys are made on the Underground every single day. You will be proud of the service your members provide the public. So why are you holding passengers to ransom, not for 1 day, for 5?
Well, you're absolutely right that our members are proud of the service that they provide, and they're proud of how they've contributed to the success of London Underground in recent years. We're now back to 5 million passenger journeys a day. That's back to pre-COVID levels. But our members are delivering that with 2,000 fewer staff on London Underground than pre-COVID. And that's led to a huge intensification of work. That's led to more extreme shifts. They already work around the clock, 24/7, 364 days a year. 4 a.m. starts in the morning, 1 a.m. finishes, rotating shifts. Some people do permanent nights. And our members are saying that they deserve a share in the success of London Underground.
And Londoners deserve a share in the success of the London Underground. It generates so much money, but we're not talking about shareholders. We're not talking about a profit-making business. We're talking about profits which then get invested in buses, in the railway service, in the overground, all sorts of areas. So why are your members saying we want a bigger share?
Well, they're saying they want a fair share. What they're saying is that TfL, by its own statements, is celebrating an extraordinary chapter in its history, where it's recorded 3 years of successive operational surpluses, and that's been recognised for the people at the top. The senior directors have had up to 22% pay rises this year alone. And what our members are saying is that they just want a little bit of that recognised. They want some promises that have been made in previous pay rounds to be honoured, and we want a change in direction so as we can start to move towards, and this is important, move towards a 32-hour, 4-day week. We are not expecting to deliver that in one go, and we've made that quite clear to London Underground. We just want to see some progress.
You might see it as progress. Even some people we spoke today on the streets of London thought it was extraordinary that you're looking for more money for fewer hours. And this is the first time I can remember where the RMT is asking for two completely separate things, a pay rise and shorter hours. You've joined it into one, which means getting a resolution is even harder. Why aren't you dealing with one issue at a time?
Well, actually, that's not quite true. In 2019, we had quite advanced talks with London Underground about a pay round that would have also introduced an element of a shorter working week. Unfortunately, COVID came along, and in the interests of everyone, we agreed to a 4-year deal which didn't deal with the working hours. We then came back and spoke to London Underground about it in 23, in 24, and our members think that it's about time that this problem was addressed. Working around the clock, doing the sorts of shifts they do, it has a long-term effect on your health, it lowers life expectancy, and we just want some progress.
As we heard from Transport for London, they're saying we simply can't afford it. This isn't even on the table. £200 million plus they expect that this will cost them, which means £200 million plus poorer services for Londoners.
Yeah, £200 million is an extreme figure. I think that is assuming a whole number of things that we're not asking them to do right at this time. So to introduce a limited move towards a 32-hour, 4-day week, a real meaningful reduction in working hours to give people more quality time off would cost nowhere near that. And I make the point again that London Underground has generated a £164 million surplus this year. The employer has saved £100 million on pension contributions, and that could cover everything we're asking for this year, and London Underground would still have a lower pay bill than it had last year.
Gerald Wood, thank you so much for your time this evening. I do appreciate that. What I'm going to do now, because I want to hear from our transport correspondent, Tom Edwards, because you've just listened to this interview with Gerard Wood. What do you make of it?
Well, I think like a lot of commuters going home tonight, I'm a bit confused. There's obviously been a breakdown in industrial relations somewhere. The RMT union have come out with this big demand for a 32-hour week, and TfL have said it's a red line. They're not going to do it. And you just get the feeling with the amount of meetings that they've had. The last meeting was on Wednesday. They didn't go to the conciliation service, ACAS. You just get the feeling perhaps no one really wanted to do a deal. And tonight we've just had another update that another concert has been postponed. The rapper Post Malone hasn't been given licensing for his gigs at the Tottenham Stadium, and they've been postponed. So all of this has big, significant ramifications right across the capital, Assad.
Yeah, it certainly does. OK, Tom Edwards, thanks for that. Now, if you're one of the people whose journey to and from work, maybe to and from the airport, maybe to and from the hospital, will be disrupted next week as a result of the strike, do let us know about the impact and maybe what you're doing as a result. You could be trying a new route. have an extra day off or an extra expense has been added for you, well, just get in touch with us by email on Hello BBC London. It's on your screen there at bbc.co.uk. And also, let me tell you that Tom Edwards, who you just heard from there, has put together a very useful page on the website. It's all you need to know about the tube strike. Croydon's directly elected mayor has told the BBC that he thinks the decision by the government to send in commissioners to deal with a debt-ridden council may be politically motivated. Croydon Council has effectively gone bankrupt 3 times, but Conservative Mayor Jason Perry insists it's now on a journey of improvement. Susanna Mendonça has more.
They're trying to rebuild more than just homes here, but also this debt-ridden council's reputation. This is what Regina Road Estate used to look like.
This was renowned across the country as a block of flats where residents were left to rot.
Croydon's elected mayor says improvements to local housing, which were recently recognised by the social housing regulator, are a sign of progress being made to turn the borough around. And he says the government decision to send in commissioners to oversee the council's finances could be a politically motivated move ahead of local elections next year.
There seems to be different treatment for Labour and Conservative-controlled councils.
I mean, some might say that, Croydon's obviously in quite a difficult situation itself. Could you see, I suppose, justification in why you need outside help?
Yeah, and that's why I say that I think that I can understand the government wanting oversight of what is happening here in Croydon, but I don't think that commissioners is necessarily the right answer.
3 years ago, the Conservatives won Croydon's newly created elected mayoral post amid local discontent at the financial problems that the council had got into under the previous Labour leadership.
Poor investments like this hotel, which the council since had to sell off, contributed to Croydon becoming the first London borough in 20 years to effectively go bankrupt back in 2020. And it's basically gone bust another 2 times since then. Now it's still in huge debt and it's had to ask government for exceptional financial support, which to you and I means permission to borrow more.
But political game playing has nothing to do with the government's decision to send in commissioners, according to Croydon's last Labour leader.
Would a Labour government, if they were purely driven by political interests, wouldn't necessarily want to stymie a potential Labour mayor coming in with a council election next year?
But how do shoppers at Surrey Street Market feel about unelected commissioners having the power to tell the people they voted into office what to do?
Yes, I'm completely in favour of it. We elected a mayor with the idea of maybe things would change, and they haven't, unfortunately.
Croydon's been a mess for a long time, and it's no secret. So they're sending commissioners in, but we're at the state of what's it really going to do?
The government said the commissioners who are now working here would provide a short, sharp reset to shift the dial on the council's recovery. But with £1.4 billion worth of debt in Croydon, some local government finance experts think there's only one solution.
Well, I think commissioners are an interim step to the government recognising that the authority can't be sorted out and that ultimately they're going to have to pay the debt off.
That's one way to build a better future for Croydon, but the government will want to avoid that if it can, to stop more cash-strapped councils from calling for the same. Susanna Mendonça, BBC London.
OK, at 6:45, let's take a moment to take a look at some other local stories in the headlines today. Detectives investigating the deaths of 2 women 5 months apart have arrested a man on suspicion of their murder. The first woman died on the Aylesbury estate in Walworth in March. The second was found last month on Tottenham High Road. A 40-year-old man is in custody. Bitumen that spilled into the River Thames has been washed up on an Essex coastline. It's a material derived from crude oil, which is often used in the construction industry. The Port of London Authority said tons of it was accidentally released from a storage facility in Gravesend. The new Women's Super League season kicks off in London tonight at Stamford Bridge, to be exact, as Chelsea take on Manchester City. It comes just weeks after the Lionesses proved again that they're the best team in Europe. Well, Chris Legg is at Stamford Bridge for us tonight. And Chris, these are exciting times for women's football.
Yeah, the knock-on effect of England's glory is we're going to see more games than ever played at Premier League stadiums, usually the preserve of the men, and record season ticket sales reported at several clubs, including Chelsea and Arsenal. This is the first of at least 7 games Chelsea are going to play at Stamford Bridge, although Kings Meadow remains their regular home, and Arsenal, who kick off tomorrow, are going to play for the first time every single league game at the Emirates Stadium. Now, we're hoping London's Big Two will be involved in a thrilling title battle too. You might remember in May, Arsenal celebrated winning the Champions League, a surprise victory over Barcelona, but they were some way short in the league. Chelsea, they won a treble of League Cup, FA Cup and a 6th WSL title in a row. They really want to win the Champions League that Arsenal got, but they don't want to let their grip go either on those domestic prizes. We can hear now from 2 of England's stars, Arsenal striker Alessia Russo, who's just signed a new contract, and first of all, Chelsea defender Lucy Bronze.
Yeah, domestically was perfect. We're just missing that one thing that has always been missing at Chelsea, the Champions League. So I think this year that's the big goal, is to go unbeaten again, to win everything, to win all the trophies, but Champions League's definitely top of the list.
We've got such a talented and competitive squad as well, so yeah, we're all really excited. We want to go for every trophy that we can this year, and we know that we've not competed as we want to in the league and the cups over the past couple of years, but yeah, we really want to put that right this year.
We've also seen this summer the first £1 million transfer fees spent in women's football. Both Chelsea and Arsenal have spent that on a player. More surprisingly, the newly promoted club London City Lionesses has signed the France international Grace Gayoro. One of our other clubs, West Ham, the women's team hasn't played a game at London Stadium since 2019. Their main ground is at Dagenham. They're being blocked really from a return because of a row over who should pay between the club, the stadium owners, and now the mayor. And I'm delighted to say our political editor, Carl Mercer, can bring us up to date on this. What is the latest development in this long-running saga?
Yeah, like you say, Chris, nice and rosy here in West London, very different picture out in East London. We understand there has been communication between Karen Brady, who's the Vice Chair of West Ham. She's written to the mayor, gone over the heads of the people at the London Stadium saying, please help us sort this out. Problem is, it all goes back to this contract signed by Boris Johnson, the previous mayor, back in 2016. Some called it the deal of the century for West Ham, but it limits the number of games. And if we have a look at these pictures, this is from 2019. As you said, that was the last time that West Ham's women's team were able to play at the London Stadium. They've been wrangling about it ever since.
And some really strong words said by the parties involved.
Yeah, very strong words. I mean, West Ham coming out quite strongly saying, look, we're being asked to pay more for the women's team than we would for the men's team. We're not prepared to do that. The Mayor's office and the London Stadium saying, look, we've offered them a very good deal. I'll just give you a couple of statements, if I may. Let's start off with the London Stadium statement. They say they've always been positive about welcoming women's football to the venue. And they say, but however, like with every other capital football club, we cannot ask London taxpayers to subsidise the cost of West Ham putting on these matches. So quite strong words from them. But as I say, that letter's gone to the mayor. What's he had to say? Let's have a look at this. He says it is unrealistic and unfair to expect the taxpayer to provide a competitive advantage to one of the capital's football clubs by subsidising the staging of events at the stadium. So what you've got 3 parties, all of them say we're right behind women's football. None of them yet can agree on who's going to pay for it.
OK, Carl, thank you very much for the latest on that. We'll monitor that. It's going to be fascinating to see how it pans out as the rise of women's sport, understandably, puts pressure on the men's game as we know it. Here tonight, though, it's about matters on the pitch. Chelsea against Manchester City. Live commentary on BBC Radio 5 Live. Kick-off here at Stamford Bridge is at 7:30. Asa.
Yeah, Chris, thanks very much. And I know we're in for a great season ahead for the Women's Super League. Thanks for bringing us up to date. Now, with that, let's take a look at what's still to come on BBC London this Friday evening.
He has more Spotify followers than Taylor Swift, and tonight he's performing here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Who is he? I'll reveal all.
Actor Charles Dale has starred in some of our most popular soaps and dramas over the years. You'll recognise his face. But he's also a motorbike enthusiast. And today, he completed a journey of over 3,000 miles, raising money for charities in memory of a close friend who died of a brain injury. The charities are Brain Tumour Research and Headway. The ride ended in London and Matt Graveling was there.
If a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, this one of 3,200 miles began with the rev of an engine. Actor Charles Dale, known for his roles in Casualty and Coronation Street, swapped the cobbles for the open road.
You could ride around the UK forever and you'd never see all the amazing things, and I saw places that I'd not been before.
But this journey wasn't just about fun, but friendship. Charles recently lost his close friend Sean to a brain injury.
About 8 months ago, a mate of mine, I'd grown up with, played rugby with, gone fishing with, he's one of my oldest mates, slipped on the stairs and never woke up. He had a catastrophic brain injury at the back of his head, and unfortunately the damage was done. And I couldn't make any sense of it, so I decided that I had to do something.
And something became the Sean's TT100 Challenge, to visit 100 bike cafes across England and Wales, raising money for charities Headway and Brain Tumour Research.
I met some lovely and such kind-hearted people, you know. I thought, well, if I can give money to a charity that helps people with brain injuries, maybe the next time somebody slips down the stairs, they won't die.
And after a total of 103 bike cafes, Sean finished his challenge here in Hackney at the Bike Shed.
I set out to do something in memory of my friend, and that was the most important thing, and I think we did that. I had two things. I had one of his spanners in my pocket and a picture of him, which was always in my pocket when I was riding. You know, you're up on the top of Alston or somewhere like that, and you're looking down, and I'm like, yeah, there you go, mate. And if what I do helps the family in any way, because they're lovely people, it's got to be worth doing.
Matt Graveling, BBC London.
Now, you'll either immediately know who this man is or not. So let me tell you, he's a singer who has more followers on Spotify than anyone else. That includes Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran, who come second and third, respectively. This is Arijit Singh, and shortly he'll be on stage in North London, becoming the first Indian-born artist to headline at a UK stadium. Layla Hayes has been looking into his popularity.
He's already a massive star in India. Now Arijit Singh has gone global, singing alongside Ed Sheeran on his latest hit, Sapphire, a mix of Western pop with Indian musical influences. And today he's heading to North London and is about to make history. Tonight, Arijit Singh will perform here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, becoming the first Indian-born artist to headline a UK stadium concert. He is a singer with a diverse musical talent and a voice known to millions of Bollywood fans. He even has more followers on Spotify than Ed Sheeran and Taylor Swift. And it's fair to say that everyone coming here tonight is excited to see him.
OMG, Arijit sings amazing.
Yeah,
the songs are so meaningful and romantic,
touching,
and everything.
He's
like the Ed Sheeran of India.
I've grown up with Arijit Singh in lots of movies I've watched, a lot of Bollywood films I've watched. So I do have like a big influence with Arijit Singh. So to see his concert finally is a big thing. He did come last year. I did miss it, unfortunately, but I've got the chance again to come again, which is, you know, really great for me. So yeah.
We are a big fan of Arijit Singh. He is one of the best singer. I mean, and I just love to watch him tonight here. So yeah, we are really, really excited.
I'm from Pakistan, but I like Arijit Singh, and I listen to most of these songs in my car. And today it's a very big day for me that I am here to see him live.
Arijit Singh knows how to put on a show, and the concert at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is his only European date this year. More than 40,000 fans are expected to be there, and if all goes well, they'll be hoping for more stadium gigs to come. Layla Hayes, BBC London.
Yeah, I wonder if Ed Sheeran's going to make an appearance on stage tonight at Tottenham like he did at Arjit Singh's concert in India last year. We'll wait and see. Weather forecast now with Stav. What a beautiful day, Stav.
Indeed it was, wasn't it?
Really
Lovely.
nice.
And in fact, the weekend looks even better, Assad.
Wow.
One could say summer's making a bit of a comeback. Good evening to you. Yes, it was a fine day today. Temperatures reached the low 20s, plenty of sunshine around. The weekend's going to be even warmer, in fact. We should see a lot of sunshine around, but it will be breezy. In fact, by Sunday, it'll actually turn quite windy. Our wind's coming in from the south. Now, tonight, under clear skies with light winds, it's going to turn quite cool again, like it did last night, dipping into single digits, especially outside the M25, probably in the capital around 10 or 11, but there could be a little bit of mist and fog in one or two locations as well. So here's the pressure chart and the air mass chart for Saturday. We're starting to draw this warmer air from France on a fairly strong southerly breeze, which will continue to pick up. In fact, it'll be more of a southeasterly breeze. There'll be a lot of sunshine around from morning to afternoon. A bit of hazy sunshine, though. I think some high cloud developing for the afternoon, but that shouldn't spoil the day. Breezy, yes, temperatures and to around 22, maybe 23 degrees. And then again, as we head through Saturday night, clear skies, but with more of a breeze coming in from the southeast. It'll be cool, but not as cool as it has been. We should be into the low teens, even outside the M25. So then into Sunday, we've got this area of low pressure trying to work into western parts of the UK. I don't think it'll bother our region at all. It may just throw a bit more cloud up through the afternoon, but we start off breezy, a lot of sunshine through Sunday morning. Into the afternoon, you can see these strong southerly winds starting to veer southwesterly, and that may feed in a bit more cloud. There could be a light shower by the end of the day, but I think most places will stay dry. We could be up to the mid-20s and feeling perhaps a touch more humid as well. And then after Tuesday, we see low pressure really taking over. It does turn more unsettled once again. Strong winds, outbreaks of rain. Some of it will be heavy and thundery in places. But really, the weekend, Monday and Tuesday, look pretty good for our patch. But the temperatures start to fall away as it starts to turn more unsettled by the end of next week. That's it from me, Assad.
Stav, thanks very much. Now, before we go, a reminder of the day's main news story. It's this, that Angela Rayner has resigned as Deputy Prime Minister, Housing Secretary and Deputy Leader of the Labour Party after an investigation into her tax affairs found she'd breached the ministerial code when she bought a flat. She said she deeply regretted her decision not to seek specialist tax advice. Well, that's it. Alice will be here with our late news at 10:30. I'll be back with our weekend news tomorrow at 5:30. And another reminder before I go that all you need to know about the tube strike is on our website, the BBC London website. The strike starts on Sunday and goes through to Thursday. For now, whatever you're doing this evening, I wish you a very good evening.